While big business gains subsidies and political access, small businesses drown in red tape, and individuals now risk being classified as terrorists for complaining about it. Economic globalization is about homogenizing differences in the world's markets, cultures, tastes and traditions. It's about giving big business access to a global market. Congress can protect small businesses by providing effective oversight over SBA policies and make sure they take into account the needs of small businesses while also protecting taxpayer dollars. Congress also needs to make sure that new banking regulations do not make it more costly for community banks to lend to small businesses. Small businesses are the backbone of Oklahoma's economy, creating a large portion of jobs in our state. The Finance Ministry will ensure regular assessment so that our announcements, especially those pertaining to the banking sector, are implemented in a time-bound manner. We are here to support small businesses and the industry at large. Small businesses all across this nation are tired of the uncertainty created by Washington. Part of any solution to get our economy going should include steps to free up our small businesses by peeling back unnecessarily burdensome regulations, ending the continual threats of tax hikes, and addressing the cloud of federal debt that hangs over our economy. When you create more small businesses, you create small entrepreneurship. Out of that comes self-determination and employment. You know, Texas is, even more now that Enron has bit the dust, it's held up on the back of small businesses. In terms of intellectual property, so many of the job creators I know are startups. In the IP setting, we can meaningfully improve on the status quo, and in so doing, we can help small businesses, large businesses, and those in between. I'm a big advocate of the power of positive thinking, particularly for small businesses. Many small businesses are running entire businesses from a mobile phone. When teachers try to teach, nurses try to nurse, small businesses try to serve their clients and the police try to arrest criminals, there is always a regulator or three breathing down their necks. Conservatives want to make people's lives easier. Every government says they love small businesses, but what have they done for them? We should pull down all the barriers. Small businesses provide 75% of new U.S. jobs and are the backbone of our economy, and no outdated ban should be keeping small business owners from collecting the same interest their money could earn if it were held by an individual. We need to be investing in manufacturing and small businesses. We need to be creating a workforce where Americans can compete in a global marketplace because they have the necessary skills. And we need fairness, and we need a sustainable, strong economy that's durable for the future. The integrity of the federal procurement system needs to be protected so that the public has confidence in government contracts, and small businesses have every opportunity to compete. Small businesses are seeing huge rate increases every year, and more of them are saying they just can't afford to provide coverage. That's part of the reason more than 45 million Americans are now uninsured. As a former small business owner, I recognize both the important role small businesses play in our economy and the broad universe of challenges that small business owners face in trying to make ends meet. Small businesses win as they get more contracts, workers win as small businesses create jobs, and taxpayers win as prices are driven down. Trade agreements are important because they open up new marketplaces to small businesses, which ultimately translates into more jobs and greater economic growth. While other industries have suffered, the nonprofit arts world continues to build in strength while it encourages the growth of innumerable small businesses on its periphery, thereby creating more jobs. Washington has got to, across the board, lower taxes for small businesses so that our mom and pops can reinvest and hire people, so that our businesses can thrive. Wall Street apparently takes and then forgets, and then comes after the guns of law-abiding American citizens and small businesses. We cannot afford the EPA's continued expansion of red tape that is slowing economic growth and threatening to entangle millions of small businesses. We must get government out of the way and help foster an environment where small businesses are free to grow and create jobs. We must never forget that it is the private sector, not government, that is the engine of economic opportunity. Businesses, particularly small businesses, flourish and can provide good jobs when government acts as a productive partner. Time and time again, small businesses testify before the Committee on Small Business that they simply want the government to get out of the way. The majority of Americans receive health insurance coverage through their employers, but with rising healthcare costs, many small businesses can no longer afford to provide coverage for their employees. Cities may now bulldoze private citizens' homes, farms and small businesses to make way for shopping malls or other developments. While Washington pays lip service to the challenges facing small businesses, it repeatedly chooses its own expansion over results. In effect, government has become a huge silent partner in all businesses, often taking a majority of the profits and forcing many unprofitable business decisions without the risk that it will be fired. Oh, I'm all about small business. I think what we've learned from big business and big Wall Street is that unchecked greed and the creation of false value gets us all in trouble. If we look at the American economy, who's really creating value? It's the small businesses. The SBA should be redirected to focus on its core missions of capital access, contracting, and counseling, while reducing duplication, overlap, and wasteful spending. Doing so will greatly improve its ability to better advocate for small businesses. As mayor, I will use my experience to make San Francisco a place where small businesses can thrive. We can only create good jobs if we make smarter investments in infrastructure and do more to support small businesses, not stiff them. I'm fighting for small businesses. I'm not fighting for big oil. Don't be confused. And there are thousands of businesses in this state that are at great risk. Meanwhile, the country keeps guzzling the oil, but we're out of work down here. We need to get back to work to build this region, and we intend to do so. Simply put, our nation's economy will only go as far as our small businesses will take it. I call crony capitalism, where you take money from successful small businesses, spend it in Washington on favored industries, on favored individuals, picking winners and losers in the economy. That's not pro-growth economics. That's not entrepreneurial economics. That's not helping small businesses. That's cronyism, that's corporate welfare. The federal government spends nearly $500 billion on contracted goods and services, therefore, we must ensure that the money is being spent efficiently, and small businesses have proven that they can do quality work cheaper and often faster. More and more Americans are asking about the price that we have to pay when Walmart comes into a community, treats workers poorly, violates immigration laws and squashes small businesses. At every turn, small businesses should be encouraged to compete. When they do, we all win. A lot of young people just starting out unskilled, as all Americans do when they're born here, come to this country, and so the business community is for immigration. Big businesses, small businesses, high-tech, low-tech, the communities of faith, and the Republican leadership. You bet every member of Congress who votes for this bill ought to read it thoroughly, and understand that what we're looking at here amounts to nothing more than a government takeover of our healthcare economy, paid for with nearly $1 trillion in new taxes on individuals and small businesses, and it must be opposed. The fact that 2/3 of Americans who work at small businesses will see premium increases because of the health law is devastating news. This is one more in a long line of broken promises from President Obama and Washington Democrats. For small businesses, regulatory burdens can be overwhelming. If we do nothing, as the Republicans suggest, we're going to see healthcare costs reach a point where small businesses can't afford it and families can't afford it. We're going to see people turned down from pre-existing conditions. We're going to find the Medicare donut hole, a gap in coverage that's going to hurt a lot of seniors. The federal government has gone too far on many non-essential regulations that are harming small businesses. Employers are rightly concerned about the costs of these regulations, so they stop hiring, stop spending, and start saving for a bill from the federal government. Legitimate small businesses are put at a huge competitive disadvantage when bad actors lie about their small business status and don't play by the rules. Many small businesses rely on small financial institutions, like credit unions and community banks, to meet their capital requirements. Without them, these small businesses would have to close their doors. Small businesses are the backbone of the American economy and employ almost half of the working population. Yet because of their size, they rarely have access to the same information security resources as large firms. In order to help small businesses gain access to the credit and capital they need to run their business successfully, Congress must adopt policies that support functional capital markets without imposing undue restrictions on providers of debt and equity capital. Visit our website for more quotes. Quoting.com